Hi, hello.
Hi, Boris. It's nice to meet you. Where are you in Greece? Because it's nighttime. I know it's late, so we want to thank you for. Oh yes, we should all be there with you.
I'm in Antiparos, a Greek island.
That's near Myliani, Antiparos. Oh no, you're Antiparos.
It,
Paros, sorry.
it's near Paros.
Yeah.
It's a small island in Cyclades,
Yeah.
where Tom Hanks has a house.
Right. So tell him hello from us. Hopefully he's listening. Well, welcome. Thank you for making yourself available so late in the evening to have a quick chat about your movie Zistotech. I'm going to start off by just reading something that you wrote about yourself, just to describe who you are. You've said, "I'm a film director born in Athens. I love telling stories that deal with emotions and humanity, all wrapped up in visual beauty." So I know Zistotech is your second film. Your first film, Blackfields, also is very different story, but there's a lot of parallels between the two movies that you made. And of course, I was able to go online last night and watch your TV movie, Robo Girl, which I loved. And it's such a very different film than the films that you make. And so I'm going to ask you how you ended up doing that movie. But I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a great story and seemed like a Nickelodeon film to me. And
are you talking about Robo Girl?
Robo Girl, yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself and your background and how you came to making movies. And because obviously Blackfield and Zistotech both have now played in New York, and they're really impressive films and ambitious.
Yeah.
Tell us something about yourself, if you would.
Yeah. I mean, when you talk about, should I hold the camera like that? Doesn't matter.
That's good.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
That's
okay,
better,
good.
Yeah.
Well, talking about Robo Girl, which is not my film, but it does show the kind of direction I'm going to head towards too, because now I'm like in the middle of beginning a kind of TV mini series with a Greek channel, like a detective story, like a crime thriller. So yes, this is the time that I want to open up into different, more extroverted storytelling, and to direct actually more, because I really love the two films I've made, but it's like one film every 10 years. So it's now that we talk, during this time is the moment where I'm planning to turn and direct more and write less.
So how did you get started in film?
Well, I always loved watching films, and when I was 12, I was being a film critic. I was writing in my notebook which films I loved, and I was saying, photography 19 out of 20, and I just had one line of critic about the film. And anyway, I studied as a civil engineer, and when I finished, I applied to 4 film schools, and National Film School in England accepted me, and
So
this is how it all happened.
Are you a protege of Stephen Frears? I mean, are you studied under him?
Yes, Stephen Frears was, the main tutor, but he wasn't always there. But he was visiting, and he was really helpful. He was the one that in my first short film, because I've never done a short film before I entered the film school. He's the one that came while I was shooting my first year short film, and I began shooting the close-up first, the close-up of a glass of water, something like that. Really basic stuff. And he said, "Okay, Varis, you shouldn't do the close-up first. You should do first a rehearsal. Get your cameraman next to you, see the actors, and at the point of view that you will find interesting the scene, you should put the camera." This is what I remember, an interesting advice.
So how many years in London were you there studying?
I was 3 years there, 95 till 98. Um, I lived there. I had an English girlfriend. I was full there in the, and I really loved what was happening there. But I haven't been to the army yet. So at one point, I said I will go to the army. I don't know if it was the right decision because after my graduation, working title, for example, this film production company like invited me to go there and pitch my ideas. But I don't know. I left. I went back to Greece.
Right. And what year was that?
Yeah, it was 98, and then I went to the army for 2 years. It was, it was great.
Mandatory.
It was mandatory, but I could have stayed in England, and escaped the army. But I was missing Greece also anyway. So yeah, from 2000, then I did, and things are much slower in Greece.
Right.
So I did Blackfield 10 years afterwards, and then 10 years after Blackfield, I did Zizotech.
So Blackfield came out in 2010. When did you start that project? I assume it must have taken many years.
Which one?
Blackfield, because it's an ambitious.
Blackfield.
Yeah, it's an ambitious film.
Blackfield was an ambitious project. 2008 I was shooting Blackfield, and I was shooting commercials also. This is what, this is my everyday job. So Blackfield began maybe 5 years before shooting, the script and funding.
Yeah.
But what happened in Blackfield was that what made the difference with the production value of the film was that my best friend, when I was in the primary school, has told me when we were finishing school that because he knew I loved films, if you become a director, the first film I'm going to give you money to do it. And so it was the time 2008, 7, where everything was going really well, the economy. And he was just and even though he funded half the budget of the film, out of pure generosity, it wasn't even the films that he liked,
Right.
So it's amazing. The Times, just 5 minutes before we entered his office with the producer, he asked me, okay, how much are we going to ask? 200,000? I say, okay, let's ask for 300,000. So, and he asked, okay, what's going to happen to my money? And the producer told him, you're going to lose them. We're not going to have tickets for this money, for this film.
Well, I know Zizotech, you said it came to you in a dream. And where did the idea of Blackfield come from?
Blackfield came. Blackfield came when I saw a photo in the newspaper. It was a Muslim girl in the outfit of a nun. And when I saw this photo, I thought, my God, she's not a girl. She's a boy. She's a boy. And I tried to imagine a story, of in Greece there was this thing that some boys were dressed up like girls to avoid the Turkish army, to avoid being recruited. So we have stories of boys, being like girls until they are 12, to avoid the army and being recruited. So this is how the story.
Right. So for people who don't know Blackfield, I know you can see it online. I don't know if that's something you made it available online, and I know it's got
I made it.
millions of views. Haven't seen the film. I've seen parts of it. I know about it. We've shown it in New York. But it's set in 1654 in Greece during the Ottoman rule, and it's about gender identity and sexual orientation, and one of and of course there's two characters that sort of fall in love and don't realize that they fall in love. But and one of whom is one of whom is a nun, and one of whom is a janissary, who is a Greek who was abducted, I guess, as a young boy by the Ottomans to be a Turkish soldier and learn to sort of hate against the Greeks. And I guess he's injured and then and falls upon this convent and is sort of nursed back to health by this nun. And so, but what's interesting is the nun takes a vow of silence. And in Zizotech, you have a character who is mute, although I've read that some people have said that he also took a vow of silence. But I'm pretty sure that the intention is that the character, the father figure in Zizotech, is that he's a mute, living, you know, in the woods. But there's so many similarities between the two movies, between those two, the characters who don't speak, and then the nature. You talk about shooting, you know, your movies as sort of nature films, where nature is almost another character in the movie, and then there's the endings. I think are open ended. The audiences don't know what the outcomes are of the two films. Was that deliberate on your part, that Zizotech was going to follow Black-Billed in that way, or was it just more coincidence from your style of filmmaking?
No, it wasn't deliberate. It was what attracts me. You know, it's stories of people trying to find a connection and being adopted by, you know, by. So it's strangers meeting. You know, it's two strangers meet in Blackfield, and it's some people who are not like each other unite. So this is what attracts me. The moment that this happens and people explore each other and find connection with someone you wouldn't expect to be connected to. This is an area which is really like, you know, I want to explore.
Right. So I mean, the theme is that there's a longing for love in both movies, and now, you know, talking specifically now about Zizotech, you know, you have three main characters: the mother, the boy, and the mute who becomes the father figure. You know, it was a difficult film to watch it because you realize that the mother is distracted and you know, has some issues, but for her to actually abandon her child, you know, is a big leap. And so, you know, maybe you can, and I know you talked about motherhood and, you know, what may lead to women not necessarily wanting to be mothers or find themselves as mothers, or feeling that they have to be the perfect mother in this way, but abandoning like a 9-year-old boy, you know, in the way that she does, what really prompts that? You know?
Look, we had to make a decision. The decision was like, are we going to make a film about the mother who abandons her boy? Or are we going to make a film about the boy who is abandoned? Because if we wanted to explain why the mother abandons her boy, we would need a whole film, I think. And we said to the co-writer to be bold and maybe lose some audience, and never explain why the mother actually leaves the boy. And okay, some people will see that and they're gonna say, okay, why am I watching this? It doesn't make sense. And some others will feel that will go with it. Zizotech needs generosity from the audience, I believe. It's not an easy thing to watch, and not just when the mother leaves the boy. There are 2 or 3 circumstances that the audience could, you know, say, okay, bye. I don't get it.
Well, the movie got high praise from Variety, so you got a great review.
I was like,
and you know, they loved the boy and his performance. We'll talk about in a minute, but just, you know, they do acknowledge that in the review that the mother is not unloving, even though there is this abandonment. The scene with them on the rooftop where they're having the water fight is just a magical sort of. It just cinematography. The cinematography was great, and just just the you could see that they really loved each other. There was a real relationship there, and that's the side of the relationship that you think sort of always exists between a mother and a son.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, the mother is a warm and a cold character at the same time, and this is what makes it hurtful. When you get abandoned, it's like a relationship. Um, you know, it's cold and hot, and the I didn't want to portray a horrible mother um, that abandons her child, or mother who does it because of poverty or because of drugs. Um, I wanted to explore this side that someone just cannot go along anymore with her son, which is extreme. It's
Yeah,
extreme.
right. So this all happens at a folk festival. I think is that Northern Greece where that was shot?
Yeah. Exactly. Northern Greece, Xanthi.
So and I mean these are the folk festivals. I mean that must be a common occurrence in those areas. Is that something that
These festivals.
that's something that takes
Yeah,
place?
it happens. It happens. I mean, we did combine, three things like the religious, the litany, and the dance and the wine, and these people wearing masks,
Right.
which is an amazing spectacle. But it, there are things that do happen there. We did it for the film. I mean, it wasn't that we made it. We managed to get the festival running for free. So we were filming while the people were having fun. This was the case. This was a very. The cost of visiting was like 200,000 euros.
Right. I was going to say that it seemed like it'd be very expensive to shoot that festival, but if it was already happening and you sort of just was able to
Yeah.
film
We had
there,
one day.
yeah. Because
It was tough.
other than that scene, it's a kind of a simple film shoot in the sense that it's just these sort of main characters. Yeah.
Yes.
You're not on
Yes.
location in these remote places, and I mean you're in the forest. I think that's actually you said that this came as a dream, and that's really the beginning of your dream, where this boy is running through the forest and comes upon this
Yeah.
cottage and this person who
Yeah.
who who could have turned against him, because you don't know anything about
Exactly.
the person. You get a impression that he could be violent, and yet
Exactly.
he takes this boy in and they form a bond. So
Yeah.
so for you, wanting to shoot in nature was, obviously you wanted to take that part of the story and then build out a beginning and an end to what happens really in the middle of the film.
Yes. The story. Okay, in nature, people are like freer to meet. Maybe I mean, in my kind of universe, without the society being around them, it's like being left on an island, on your own with someone else. So this is what happens. We have seen films about people falling in love in the middle of, Tokyo, like let's say with Coppola. But both are amazing. I love reality at the same time and all the details of reality. But the films I generally, I create have something with fairy tale quality and some, the storyline is a bit like, following kind of basic.
It very much seems like a fantasy fable at times, because you don't know whether, and I think Variety touches upon this. You don't know, it seems like a dream, but you don't know, at what point you're in the dream, and even sort of to the end, and you can talk about the bear motif, but in the
Yeah.
end, it's to me it seemed like it could be a hallucination, and
Yeah, definitely.
so
Definitely. The end, the bear scene. Yeah, I mean, with Variety, I was very lucky because this person happened to to enter, the 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 word of the film. It, it just happened. Other people didn't enter, and she experienced, like, it's like taking a drug, or like, because the film doesn't take you strongly to its universe. It's like a slow river. So you need to tune in, to enter, which is not easy. I'm not using strong cinematic language, um, in order to grasp and you're going to enter, like, Last Frontier or whoever, has a very strong cinematic language. So you need to tune in. The film needs you to enter, and it doesn't take you from the hand to enter. This is a very basic thing, which makes it sometimes difficult to watch. So the last scene, the last scene, when I was writing the film, it was a real scene. When we were editing the film, I felt it felt like a fantasy scene from The Boy. Like, when I was doing the film, I felt, yes, the bear does come in the snow and saves the child. But when we finished the editing and I saw it, it was kind of sad for me. The ending. It's like a dream that never comes true.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, saying that the unification, the love, will be something only in the fantasy. In Blackfield also, these two people uniting had a sense of that something didn't go well at the end.
Right. So the cinematography, both films won and what cinematography awards by the Film Academy, but you had two different cinematographers for each movie and two different composers. Why, out of curiosity, you chose not to work with the same people in your second film, or did you have specifically in mind?
Well, cinematography, the sad thing is that the cinematographer of my first film died. Marcus Waterloo. This is why at the end of the film I have this name in memory of Marcus Waterloo. And we had an amazing collaboration in Blackfield. And he was my, we were studying together in England. Yeah. He had cancer and he died. And a really humble person. He never did anything else, like film-wise, like feature film. He was amazingly talented. Yeah. So then did you say the composer also? All the production design.
Both movies have different composers, right?
Yeah. There's one connection with the music. I used the music of an American Greek composer who lives in LA. His name is artistic, Akira Rabelais. He's like a Californian-based composer. So I used his music, his songs, which are like ambient, strange songs. The composer of Zizotech is a new collaborator, which I love, and I will collaborate with him, forever. And now I'm forming my team. Because it's very important to have people you work together like a team.
Right.
So after Zizotech, I'm forming my team, and you will see the results, I hope.
That's great. So yeah. So what is next? Is it another feature, or the next series in Greece?
I'm quitting art house films. Zizotech. I was like 10 years of making Zizotech. I'm tired. I mean, I will, maybe in 2 years I will be here talking with you again, but but now I want to do miniseries, and maybe I was offered to do like a children film, like a European co-production, with children, like RoboGirl, but a feature film. So, and I have a miniseries which is like a fantasy thriller. they've been developed, and I'm shooting now in 2 months a police thriller, you know. And I will put my personal touch there. I promise.
Well, we very much look forward to seeing more movies and TV shows from you. Like I
Thank
said,
you. I want you to see my wife
Hi.
Anita, hello.
and my daughter.
Nice to meet you both.
Sorry for that.
No, I'm
but,
glad you put them on screen. It's this is one of the advantages of being able to do these Zoom calls is we can have these conversations and talk to people, you know,
yeah.
far away as Antiparos. And we've had people in calls in London and Los Angeles and Greece and Cyprus.
Amazing.
So it's been great. It's been an honor to talk to you and to.
Thank you.
I'd like you, if you would, to stay on for just 1 second. I'm going to invite our festival director, Jim Demetro, into the call so he can give, say a few final remarks.
Fantastic.
Let's see.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, but you don't see me as well. I want to thank Vardis very much for allowing to show his film. Vardis, you know, I think very highly of the film. I think I'm one of those viewers you talked about who are able to enter into the world of the film, and it's quite extraordinary. It resonates.
Thank you very much.
It's a kind of film you think about for a long, long time after you see it. And I think you're a very special artist, and it was a pleasure to include you in this festival.
It's really an honor, and you really give me courage to continue. I mean,
Well, it's
really
very kind. Thank you so much. I do want to thank the people involved. I want to thank all the directors and the producers who entrusted us with their film, and the public, of course, that tuned in to watch. There's still almost a day and a half left for them to catch up on the special films that they haven't seen yet, and we hope they will take advantage of that. Allow me some words in Greek too, George, if you don't mind. Θέλω να ευχαριστήσω τους παραγωγούς, τους σκηνοθέτες που μας εμπιστεύτηκαν με τις ταινίες. Να ευχαριστήσω τους χορηγούς και το ακροατήριο που μας υποστήριξε, μας δίνει δύναμη να συνεχίσουμε το έργο που έχουμε αρχίσει. I think all of us feel we are at the beginning of a very important step in Greek cinema in the United States. This is the first online attempt in this, and it's something we want to continue. And I hope that we'll succeed in what we're doing. The Greek films today, yours included, are definitely world-class cinema. They deserve to be seen, and we're devoted to making that happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are exceptional. And George, I thank you for the opportunity, if not to see you, rather, at least you heard me, you didn't see me. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Vardis and Jimmy, and we look forward to, as I said to our other speakers before, to also host you at some point in New York with this movie or future project.
Yes.
So
Alive.
thank you so much and congratulations.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.